Well, if you're going to get a poll, a political poll, you're going to want the one Marco Rubio got. In fact, there were a few, but one that really, from where you sit, was pretty credible poll.
Yeah, well, there were several came out. You know, some of these robo-polls come out, and the robo-polls are fine, but they don't get into depth. But AIF, I work with them, they take great pains to make sure their polls are good. 71-7, which it tells a lot about the culture we're in. Somewhat, the culture of forgiveness. I mean, Marco Rubio bombed on the presidential preference primary, didn't do nearly as well as we thought. And then here we are, what, 3 months later, and the Republican, and remember, this is just Republican voters, are like, yeah, we're good.
Well, I think it's also a sign that the Republican Party has moved from life support to intensive care, and Marco Rubio is part of the reason, because they figured out a way to, they've turned it around. I think that this U.S. Senate race is Marco's to lose. I think it's going to help them tremendously at the federal level, keeping the Senate among Republicans. And, you know, I think the public has concluded they didn't want him as he's not ready to be president, but
we're okay with him as a senator.
We want him as their senator. I mean,
that's an interesting observation. I would have saw the opposite. I thought if they would have taken Beruff, a guy they don't know who's running, you know, we talked about this offline about the difference between Rick Scott's ads and Carlos Beruff's ads. Rick had spent more Governor Scott had spent more at this time than Carlos Beruff is. But Beruff spent $5 million so far online, and he's 3 points ahead of me. And this shows you that bad ads don't move voters. Just volume doesn't work. His ads are clunky and uncomfortable, and so his numbers actually are going downward.
But he's got those same advisors that Rick Scott has.
I know.
That's the irony, you know?
But you know what happens? And you've been there, and I've been there many, many times. The advisors have what they want to say, the ads that they want to create, and the candidate goes, no, this is what I think voters want to hear. And you go, okay, we'll say what you want to say because you're the boss. It's your name on the ballot. And it doesn't come across well. But I've looked at, you know, as you know, this cycle alone, over 100 polls that I've analyzed, you don't see those kind of numbers. You don't see 71-7.
And then that was just the Republican numbers, right? That was just for the primary. You know, the matchup against either Patrick Murphy or Alan Grayson is going to be tighter. But I still think that it,
well, yeah, of course,
favors Marco.
Yeah, it'll